Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Matt. I've got so many projects up in the air right now, and I just thought I'd take a second and do a quick review. Today we're going to look at an axe. I used this axe on a different video where I was smashing up a shield, and someone asked me to review the axe and show you what that looked like. The axe is the medieval Tomahawk from Track of the Wolf. And this axe is a 4140 alloy steel. It is not forged, it is actually cast. So some people have a problem with that. Some people feel that something that's cast is going to possibly be brittle, but with today's metallurgy, I don't think that's really a concern. There's not going to be any difference between a cast head compared to a forged head. It's really the heat treatment that's important. So if the heat treatment is done well, you're not going to have any issues with chipping or the thing breaking or failing. You know, what I look for sometimes is what does the surface look like here? Of course, when you have a cast head, what's happening there is you have molten metal that's being poured into the cast, into the shape, and filling it out, and then these are all very uniform. So it has that advantage. They're also easy to make, relatively speaking. They're very quick to mass produce these. And so that's great for the consumer because the price is very low. I believe the price was about $42, somewhere very close to that. You can check it out if you want to on their website. So that's pretty affordable for an axe. This one is sold sort of as one you could throw. It has a 5 3/8 inch blade, and it comes fairly dull actually. Doesn't actually look like this when you get it. It is coated with a metal finish. It's like a black matte lacquer, which I've decided to remove and also sharpen up these points here, maybe make it look a little bit less like it was cast. So I'm actually going to open up a brand new one. I got a new one just so you could see what it looks like if you decide to order, because it doesn't look exactly like this any longer. I've tried to make an edge here, put an edge on it, and I'm going to take this outside also and see how this does when chopping wood or whatever I can find that's laying around. But yeah, let me open up the brand new one and show you what that looks like. So this is made in the US. Came in the mail just a few minutes ago. And first thing, yeah, this one is the longer axe half that we got. This is the 22-inch hickory handle. It doesn't come with the axe that I'm showing you here, but it's pretty inexpensive, so got that as well. And then we've got the 18-inch tapered hickory handle as well. That comes with the axe. And the axe head is buried a little further back. Here it is. And it's packaged pretty well here. I would definitely recommend putting a better edge on the axe head. The one that it comes with, it's not blunt. I would say it's certainly not blunt, but at the same time, you know, it's not going to be much of an edge, and if you really want to do much cutting with it, it's probably not going to be sufficiently sharp. So if you have an angle grinder or a bench grinder, those work. You know, you could do it the hard way and use rasps, and the rasp will give you a good edge eventually. It's just going to take a lot more work. And then you could use sandpaper, I suppose, or a whetstone once you get down to the point where you're really putting a fine edge on it. And we'll just slide it on the haft and show you what that looks like there. So we'll take it outside. Let's go outside and see how this works. I'm cutting a piece of firewood that is seasoned for several years in my garage, and so it's going to be really hard wood to cut through. I would hate to have to use this axe to cut down a tree. If you had to, I guess you could, but it would be a lot of work. But it does cut firewood pretty well if you cut it from the top, so you're cutting firewood. No problem there. And then if we use it on this piece of pine, it cuts really well. Does not have a razor sharp edge on it, but it's pretty sharp. just want to make sure that you saw it in action. I think that's going to be important with any review. As I mentioned before, this is not going to be sharp enough probably to use for anything until you sharpen it up. And then also the other issue, it slides easily here. You probably want to put a shim, either a wood or metal shim there, so that it doesn't slide around, because that could be really annoying. But this is a good axe for taking with you if you're camping or hiking, or if you're into reenactment as well. In terms of its handling characteristics, I mean, it probably has a lot to do with your mechanics, how well you swing it. That'll determine how well it handles, obviously. But personally, I would like a beefier axe haft, even for a head of this size. So maybe a little girthier. I'm got some larger hands, and this handle kind of gets lost in your hand. Although it does have a good edge here. It's sort of oval shaped, and it's even pointed on this end, so it is easy to index the edge, finding that alignment with your fingers. So that's nice. But I probably will create a new haft, probably longer, wider. That's up to you though. So in conclusion, I'd say this is a pretty good axe for the money. You can't go wrong at that price. And it's made in the US, so if you're looking for a Viking type axe head, I think this is probably a good one to get your hands on. Alright, so thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, I've got some new projects right there on the horizon, and I'm really excited to show you those. So stay tuned for those, and I'll talk to you later.